Brothers and sisters, firstly, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We have a lot of challenges, especially that we are living in the West. So we have very different dynamics here in the West than the countries that our fathers or grandfathers, they grew up in. So whether it is Somalia, India, Bangladesh, whether it is Pakistan or whether it's Egypt or Sudan or whichever country it might be that our grandfathers were in or our fathers were raised in, we have very different dynamics in this country. What we have to understand is you are what you have experienced in your life. That's who you are. From the things that you came across in your life, the different episodes in your life, the different people that you met, the different things that you heard, the small times that you spent in any religious gathering or with any religious person. This is what makes you up. This is who you are. Now, if you were to actually break it down, and if you were to try to break down how much religiousness our grandfathers or our fathers have actually come across while they were growing up, compared to these children, you'll get a very clear idea of what is happening. So, for example, if you go to Egypt, you go to Somalia, Bangladesh, India, Turkey, you grow up there and you will always hear the adhan. That's inescapable. You're always hearing the adhan. You're always seeing a minaret. You're always seeing people, going to the masjid, coming from the masjid. Even in the streets and so on, you will meet people that will put you in place when you fall out of place. So we're talking about small things. Even in a small way, then some uncle, random uncle who doesn't even know you is going to say, Ya waladi, my son or my yabna akhi, my nephew, he's going to say to you, don't do this next time, do this. Like, he might see you put your left shoe on first, put left foot into your shoe first. He'll say to you, put your right foot in there first in your right shoe. You'll get reward for this. Little things like this. But who's doing this to you? This is the random uncle that just saw you. Even if you go to a sweet shop, you go to some other place, you do something out of place, the first question they're going to be asking you is, who's your father? What village do you come from? Which clan are you from? Which family do you belong to? And straight away there's a whole thing of trying to put you in place. Whereas when we're here in Aberdeen, we're here in Scotland, you haven't got that set up. You've got no adhans out there. You've got no, you might see a masjid, many miles away from another one, and most of the masajid over here, you can't even tell it's a masjid from the outside, right? It's blended into the landscape of the local housing and so on. So you're not going to see that. The next thing is, in our societies, when we talk about, the countries that I've just mentioned, or many of the countries in those Muslim sort of countries, you do have problems. I'm not going to say you have problems. But the person living in those lands, even if they don't want to practice Islam, Islam will go into their ears. There's going to be many lectures that are going to be blasted through the microphone system of the masjid. There's going to be some kind of conference that happens in the local area of some tafsir, something about hadith. Even if you're at home in those places, someone's going to quote to you a hadith, or someone's going to quote to you a Quran, or someone's going to mention something religiously that will go into your ears. You're not someone who's going to be immune to all of this. In this country, you've got it very different. You have to go out to find that Islam. You have to go out to learn that Islam. And then you've got another dynamic, which is that in our, in many of those countries, you'll have like the local imam. He will be the go-to person for all the community people. He'll be the go-to person. Whereas when you look at over here, you find that people, they will probably turn to something online to learn the Islam. They will go to their phones or the internet to learn Islam. It's a very different thing, because what you've got over by going to an actual imam is you've actually got a person-to-person way of learning Islam. Straight up, from the person to person. And that's how originally Islam came, and that's how it was learned. And why is that important? Because when Allah Azza wa Jal, He described Sirat al-Mustaqim in the Quran, We ask Allah to give us the straight path. He said, Siratal ladina an'amta alayhim. Allah straight away qualified it with a pathway that many whom Allah has favored, they've trod on that path. So who are they? They are the Anbiya, they are the Shuhada, they are the Siddiqeen, Salihin, and so on. These are people who have had companionship. So the strongest thing we actually have in terms of modifying a human being or changing a human being or changing your behavior for the better or for the worse is your companionship. I want you to understand that. And companionship is in two ways. One is you're in companionship with someone in the real world, and another one is you're in companionship with someone who is online. And both of them are companionships. So today we've got a lot of kids, a lot of teenagers, even young adults, and many of sometimes even adults that are spending huge amounts of time online. But you're also in a companionship. So when you're on social media and you're watching a prank, you're watching someone do something and it's sort of, going to be funny, it's going to be laughter, it's going to be a joke, you're in their companionship for that time. And if you spend minutes and hours, and if you spend a long period of time in their companionship, then their thoughts become your kind of thoughts. Their ideas will influence yours. They might be on Instagram and Snapchat, they might be on one of these social media apps, and you look at them and what they're showing you is luxury. They're showing you luxury. Now suddenly you've gone into luxury. You're looking at the house, you're looking at the watch, you're looking at the person's car, you're looking at the jewelry, you're looking at something that's attracted you. Now what will happen is when you see a number of those videos, your mind's already there. If nothing else, you're wishing you had that. If nothing else, you want to make money like them. If nothing else, you want to be like them. So again, you can see the companionship of these people, even though it's an online companionship, has already shaped your mind. It's having an effect on your mind. And don't tell me otherwise. And sometimes what you do is you look at the videos that are of your interest. So let's say, for example, you're into football, you start watching football, videos. You're into UFC, whatever, you start watching UFC videos. You're into some gaming, and you start watching some gaming videos. Now when you've done that, you're now following these people, but the algorithms are not going to stop there. The algorithms have worked out that you must be a male. The algorithms have worked out you have to be male, because football, UFC, cars, and gaming, that's almost like 99% that's going to be a lad, that's going to be a teenager, that's going to be a young man, that's going to be someone into all of these. You've got to be a male, you can't be a female, right? The algorithms will work out. As soon as the interest has been into jewelry, interest has been into handbags, interest has been into embroidery and a particular type of dressing, interest has been in looking at some unique china plates or whatever, and looking at some beautiful cutlery. The algorithms straight away say that's got to be a woman, that's got to be a young girl, that's got to be someone who's in her mid-age, whatever. Straight away the algorithms know where you are. Now what's the problem with that? The problem with that is, what you've got to understand is you're being played. A lot of people don't see this coming. I don't care who you are, if you are on social media and you are watching video after video, you are being played and you are being used to make money. They're making money. You might say to me, well, I'm not buying anything. You don't have to buy anything. The point is, they're using you to make money. Well, how do they do that? Well, the longer you stay on the social media, the more adverts are going to pass by you. And that's time. And they need that time. They need the stats to show those stats to the companies that are paying for the adverts. And they need you to stay on those apps for longer. So their whole idea, I don't care which social media it is, whether it's Snapchat, whether it's TikTok, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Facebook, whether it's X, whichever one it is, and you're in there and you're staying on there for however long you're staying on there, their idea is to make you stay on there as long as they can make you stay on there. So what's the benefit? For them, it's a lot of money. Because the more hours you stay on there, the more they're going to show that we've got this many users for this many hours staying on our platform. So therefore, your advert has got this kind of chance to be seen by this many people. And we've got targeted audiences. That's what they're doing. Now, how do they make you stay on there? To make you stay on there, they've now developed very specific algorithms. So let me tell you how it works. As soon as you've seen a video, as soon as you've seen a post, if you flick away within 3 seconds, it means you're not interested in that post. If you stay on there for 3 seconds or more, it means you've got some interest in that post. If you stay in there for more than 7 seconds, then you're engaged and you're into that thing, whatever it is that you've just shown. Now, the old algorithm of YouTube, Facebook, Instagram works in a certain way. They work in whatever you saw, they will give you those kind of things. So let's say, for example, you looked at a bit of boxing, they're going to show you loads of boxing videos. You've seen computing, they're going to show you loads of computing videos. You've seen politics, they're going to show you political videos. And that's how the old algorithm works. But then came the new algorithm of TikTok. And this was, when TikTok launched, it took over the entire industry. Why? Because they had a new algorithm. What was that? Their algorithm was that if you stayed on there for a few seconds, then what they worked out is, okay, they said, okay, he liked this video first. Okay, let's throw him another video. They give you a random video. In the random video, they see how many seconds you stayed on there. So if you stayed on there less than 3 seconds, stayed on there less than, okay, he's not interested. But if you stayed on there a bit longer, then they know, okay, these 2 videos, he's interested. Now, what they then did is this. Instead of giving you random videos like this, and instead of giving you the same type of videos, like boxing videos again, or political videos again, no, they did something different. They looked across the world at users. And those users that liked these 2 videos, or the 3 videos you just liked, those 3 videos, they might have had stats for about 100,000 people across the world that liked those 3 videos. Then they knew that because of your age range, they've already worked out your age range, they've already worked out your area where you live, and there's so many things going on that you don't even see. They look at the area you're living, they look at the IP address, they look at what you can afford. They will start throwing you certain things to buy based on your buying power. They will do that. That's automatic. And they're working this out in real time. And they're not doing this. It's an algorithm that they made, and the AI is making all of this up. So they then work out that by the time you've got to 7th video, your 10th video, they've narrowed you down to this many people in the world that liked the next 90 videos based on your first 10 videos. So what then happens is they now know they can keep you hooked on for longer and longer. It's like every other video you look at and you scroll through, it's like, I need to see this. This is interesting. I need to watch this. Why? Because they've worked out how your brain ticks. And now they're going to maximize the amount of time that you're going to spend on this. And there are people who get hooked for hours. I'm literally talking about 3, 4, 5 hours non-stop. They can't put it down till their eyes are burning and they need to go to sleep. And what is happening to you in the process of all of that? In the process of all of that is, my friend, you're a Muslim. You've got 2 worlds that you're in. You're going to be in. This is just one world. You've got the whole of the akhirah that is coming ahead of you. You're not born for this world. You're a Muslim. You've got an identity. You've got Allah and His Rasul that gave you Quran and Sunnah. The Rasulullah left it behind. And you've got a huge world ahead of you. If you waste your time here and you're not able to do preparation for the next world, you're finished. There's some serious consequences. And in the midst of all of this, you've also got you got your family, you got your commitments, you probably got your exams, you got your life ahead, you got probably, pass these exams to get a good job and whatever else it is. You've got a lot of things lined up. And if you're going to get hooked onto all of this stuff and then start failing or start falling behind, then that's something that's going to fall on you. And do the do the social media companies care? No, they don't. They absolutely don't care. You could go to suicidal level. You could kill yourself. They wouldn't care. They would not give a damn if you cause yourself some harm. There are a lot of, there's teenage depression and anxiety is at an utmost high. Why is that? Because you weren't born as a human being to be busy for that long. I mean, and this is crazy. I mean, we can't even sit with kids in a car without giving them a device. Are you serious? You can't sit in the house, or you can't go to a wedding, you can't come to the masjid without giving the phone to your child so that they can be busy on that phone all along, just to keep them busy, just to keep them quiet. You're causing massive damage to yourself and to your child. Let me tell you why. Because what you've just done now is you've taken the very thing that the child will need for life, which is blank space and boredom. You need boredom for life. You need to go through boredom for life. Because what does boredom teach you? Boredom teaches you sabr. Boredom teaches you patience. And you need it. Every human needs it. If you take something off a child and that child is irritated, and that child is like, and the child's like, give me the phone. If the kid's doing that, already the kid's messed up. Why? Because the kid is not supposed to have that much entertainment in life, that the moment entertainment stops, or the moment you got nothing in front of them as a screen that's keeping them busy, that they get irritated. Why? Because human beings, when you finally go into the real world, into real life, you're going to find it very difficult. You're going to find it very difficult to survive. You think about it, right? You go to this lesson, 45-minute lesson. You're going to sit in there, maths teacher is doing all this maths on the board. You're bored out of your head. Like, it's like, what? I'm going to sit here. Look at this, look. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to listen to the maths teacher. I'm going to watch him do some sums. I got to follow it with my brain. I got to keep that information in, and then it's going to give me certain equations where I've got to use my brain to do all these sums. I don't want to do that. English, whatever subject you've got in front of you. You know what it takes? It takes real hard work, man, with your brains to sit there, to concentrate, to have a long, attention span, to take that all in and to actually do something. You know how easy it is when you've got a screen in front of you and the screen plays everything to you. Even if you watch an educational video. Why don't most kids ever learn from education videos? Why? Because the video is doing the thinking for you. You're not doing much thinking. All you've got to do is do some retention. So when you watch an education video, whether it's a bite-sized video, whether it's a 40-minute video, you're not doing much learning. I guarantee you that you're not doing much learning. Why? Because the video is giving you all the information. The video is giving you all the imagery. It's giving you it's giving you in a coherent way. It's giving you all the information you need, you want, and it's giving you in a meaningful way. All you got to do is just watch it, passively learn. You know what happens? The brain becomes lazy. The brain becomes lazy. Not only the brain, the stimuli you get from the screen and watching those things or playing games, your brain is releasing dopamine. There's a chemical. There are different chemicals. The brain releases small amounts of it. It releases it. Every time you're making every time you go to another new level, every time you beat the other, whatever guy it was, every time you scored the goal on FIFA, every time, you pow, you shot a guy and he dropped dead and I killed him. I'm now right down to 50, right? There was 100 of us that started. Now we're down to 40, right? Every time you do that, it's giving you this dopamine, it's getting released. That's chemicals in your brain. Now what happens is the moment you switch it off, what do you see? You see these walls here, look. See these walls here? These walls are not moving. You see this carpet? There's no imagery in the carpet. You see these faces? No one's basically joking with you. It's a serious thing, right? And kids wake up to that, and kids like, I don't want this. I want to go back to my games. I want to go back to my artificial world. And they want to live in that world. But hello, wake up, man. Soon these kids, forget lessons, soon this kid is going to have to become an adult. It's inevitable. If you want to live a life, you have to become an adult. You can't stay like Peter Pan all your life and stay young. You can't be a cartoon character. So when you get into adult life, what are you going to do? You got to go out there, my friend. You got to work. You got to get money. You got to put food on the table. You got a wife to look at. And a lot of marriages. Let me just tell you, a lot of marriages and a lot of problems, man. Especially with this new generation. Why? Because both of them are bored out their heads. Both of them have got lack of sabr. Both of them have got lack of patience. Patience, sabr is built when you got problems. Let me just tell you this. If you want to know how to, now sabr is patience. You don't only have sabr, patience, just because you've got a big musibah, you've got a big calamity in your life. That's not the only time you need sabr. You need sabr to wait for things to happen. So let's say, for example, you plant a seed today. You're planting a tree. You know, for that tree to grow, could take you 5 years, could take you 10 years. You got investments, you put investments in. You want it to grow? Wait for 10 years, my friend. You're not going to get money just like that. You put effort into something to build it. Relationship. You can't build a relationship like that. It takes years. It takes about 10 years to build a good relationship with someone. And it's a lot of patience. It's a lot. You got to put up with their ills. You got to put up with the things that you don't like about them. And who's going to teach you all of that? The time to learn all of that is when you're young. The time, I tell you how you learn all of that. You got to spend time with other human beings that are older than you. You young people here, if you don't spend time with the adults around you in real time and talking to them and seeing what you should do in situations and how they do things in situations, you're messing yourselves up. You can't learn all of that from this online world. There's no way you learn that from this online world. There are kids still playing at the age of 19, 20, 21, 22. You know why? Because we're in this society, that's why. This would never have happened if you're in India, if you're stuck in a village in Bangladesh. This would never have happened. Why? Because you've got to go out there, you've got to be serious, you've got to work. So we're already in a vacuum, we're already in a place where a lot of this stuff, we've given it to our still children, right? And our kids are growing up with this, and then we complain about anxiety, pressures. You know, one of the things that a kid needs to build up is resilience. You need to build up your own resilience. You need to build up your own your strong character. To build a strong character, you need to be around strong men for the boys and strong women for the girls. You know, when I say strong, I don't just mean physically strong. I mean mentally strong. People are they can be more stronger mentally than physically. You know, when you see like certain men, okay, fine, you might see your people who go to the gym and they've got, the body's in a big shape, that's fine. That's physical thing. And some men are like that. Some women have got that kind of, strength. But I tell you, one strength that everyone needs is your mental strength. And that mental strength, for it to build up, you need to be around people who are mentally strong. And that's how you prepare yourself for life. All your anxiety's gone out the window when you're mentally strong, because it doesn't hurt you. Now here is where faith comes, because we as humans, we don't only have that mental strength, we have something called iman. And iman is not just, la ilaha illallah and ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. That's not just iman. Iman has a lot of elements in it. Iman has got, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, between 60 to 70 branches. In one hadith, 60 branches, another hadith, 70 branches. And every single part of iman has got something. So for example, the big one we all know, which is iman. The one that a lot of us know, but we don't know the details of, is qadr, which is fate. And it means that we have to accept the will of Allah against my will. My will wanted something, the will of Allah wanted something else, and something else happened against my will. And I have to just say, qaddar Allah wa ma sha'a fa'al. Whatever Allah willed has happened, and He executed it as He wanted to, and I'm just going to accept it. I know there's something good in here. Now, that's qadr. A lot of things that happen in life, if you take a branch of qadr, the branch of qadr, and you apply it to your life, you become resilient. Things don't bother you. You say to yourself, you know what, I walk in this world with a big faith inside me that whatever is meant to happen is going to happen. I'm going to do my best to get what I want. But if Allah wants something different, then it's going to be different. And you're ready for that. Qana'a. Qana'a means what? Means that you are satisfied with what you have. Qana'a means you are satisfied with whatever Allah gave you, you are happy. Now, we need to build this in people. A lot of people who are in the masajid and so on, even in the masajid, they don't have this. Now, when you come to social media and you come to people who are roaming around social media, they have a massive lack of qana'ah, of being happy with what they've got. Because every single other thing you look in social media, some other guy is flashing something that he's got. He's flashing you a car. He's flashing you his wife. He's flashing you, I mean, you're not supposed to do that anyway, but he's flashing you something. He's flashing you his family holiday. He's flashing to you his meals. He's showing you how he roams around the world, how he's got money to spend. Some of it's fake anyway, because they basically just, they buy their way to it. So they take loans for it to have that flashy life. But whatever is happening, you're watching it. You're getting affected by it, and you're inside you, you're kind of feeling that what you have got is less. What you have got is not enough. And it's a real problem, because wives will tear the lives of a husband, husbands will tear the lives of a wife, and families will tear each other apart if they feel that they don't have enough. It's a disease of the heart. Not having qana'ah is a disease to have greed, to want more, to have hirsul mal, to have the greed of wealth, to have the greed of the dunya. It's a disease, it's a sickness. We don't see, like, look, if you want to earn money and you want to become rich, that's fine. Become like Sulaiman alayhi salam. Become like Uthman ibn Affan. Become like the rich men in the past who put Allah first and they put the richness next. They served Allah, and the money was the means to do what they could on this earth to serve Allah Azza wa Jal. But if you're going to look for richness, and you want to look for status, or you want to look for fame, but your goal is you, then you are actually creating a monster. And that monster lives within you, and that monster will destroy you. Straight up. Anyone who doesn't have taqwa, another branch of faith. Another branch of faith is taqwa, which is that you are always aware and conscious of Allah Azza wa Jal. If you have that in your mind all the time, I'm always aware of Allah Azza wa Jal, and I'm going to stay away from sins because Allah is watching me. That's taqwa. That's taqwa. I'm going to defend myself against sins because of the fear of Allah, because of the remembrance of Allah. That is taqwa. If you've got that in your head, alhamdulillah, you can have as much of wealth as you want. Nothing's gonna bother you. You can be the richest man in the world. No problem, go ahead, bismillah. But if you don't have taqwa, then you're gonna destroy yourself. Why? Because you have created a monster within yourself. How is that? Your greed can never be satisfied. Your greed will grow and grow and grow. Today, you got your mobile phone and you're happy. But then you want the latest mobile phone. Okay, then you're happy. Then you want the iPad as well. Okay, then you're happy. Then you want the computer and everything else, the watch and everything that goes. Okay, then you're happy. No, now you want the car. Okay, you got the car. You happy? No, I want a better car. I want a BMW. I want a GTI. I want to rip the roads. Okay, you got that? Are you happy? No, I'm not happy. Why? Because I'm now aiming for the Lamborghini. I'm aiming for the Ferrari. I'm aiming for the supercar. Then you're going to be happy? No, I'm not going to be happy. Why? Because now I want two of them. I want the Lamborghini, I want the Ferrari, I want the Bugatti, I want all of them. Then you're going to be happy? No, I want to have a collection of cars. Then you're going to be happy? No, I want the yacht. I want to be on the waters now. Then you're going to be happy? No, I want a super yacht. You're going to be happy then? No, I want the bigger yacht. You're going to be happy then? No, I want my own private jet. Okay, you got your private jet. You happy? No, I want to fly all over the. You happy? No, I want all the luxuries that come with it. What do you want? Well, I want all the money. So you're happy that I give you $1 million? You'd be happy today if I give you $1 million. If you've got greed in your heart, you're not happy. Because after you got your $1 million, you want your 2. And if you got your 2, you want to become the first multi-millionaire. You become the first multi-millionaire, then you want to become the billionaire. It just won't end. Because you have a disease in your heart. That is hirs. It is greed. It's going to chew you up. It's going to eat you up. No matter how many women you have on this earth, no matter how much food you have on this earth, no matter how much luxury items you gather on this earth, you will never be satisfied. You will chase for more, and you're going to drive yourself mad. And not only that, your beast inside you is going to be such that people around you won't be able to stay with you. They won't be able to stay with you. Because of your greed, because of the way that you are, because you never worked on yourself. You know what the real human being is? The real human being is the one that can be humble. and you got the wealth. Now that's a combination you don't see often. To be arrogant and have wealth, that's many of them in the world. Allah starts with Qarun in the world. Look at Qarun. He had so much wealth, he was arrogant. And there are many like that that came and went. They got wealth, they're arrogant, they look down on people, they don't care about the truth. You got many billionaires today in the world, real billionaires in the world today, they don't care about humans. Why? Because arrogance. And that's not a real human being. To be humble and to have wealth, to be someone who's generous and to have the wealth, to be someone who does things for humanity and to have the wealth, to not have the greed and still have the wealth, now that's a man. That's a human being. That's an honorable person. But you're going to have to work very hard to get all of that. The branches of faith, if you study them one by one, tawakkul, the whole of my future, I've got no fear of what will happen in the future because of tawakkul. It's a very simple solution. The whole of the future lies ahead of me. Now if you sit there, if you worry about tomorrow right now, you're going to drive yourself mad. If you worry about next year, next 5 years, next 10 years, next 15 years, next 20 years, it's a disease. You're going to drive yourself crazy. The way to deal with that is tawakkul. Finish. I depend on Allah. Now you got certain parents that drive themselves mad. It's like, what's going to happen to my child when my child gets to this age, or my child gets to that age? How's my child going to pass this? How's my child going to get into life, get a job? And I wonder if my child's going to get the degree, my child's going to get married, my child's going to be successful in their life. Blah, blah, blah. Hello, you were a child one day. Your parents were worried about you, but you made it through. And most of it wasn't even made because of your parents planned it all for you. No, Allah planned it. And you also made yourself to where you are right now. So what do we do? Well, we put a whole, ingredient of tawakkul in our faith, which is I just depend on Allah. I'll look after my kids, I'll plan for them, but leave the rest to Allah. I could die tomorrow, so what? If I die, so what? So what? Be it. The same Allah that looked after me, looked after my parents, looked after my grandparents, will look after my kids. And if you're a young person, you're thinking, well, what's going to happen to me and my life ahead and my here, my there, what am I going to do? Well, listen, just have some faith. Part of the faith is to have tawakkul, that I depend on Allah. Now, how can you have that kind of tawakkul? Well, you got to build a relationship with Allah. If you don't build a relationship with Allah, you can't just put blind tawakkul in there. No, you got to seriously build that relationship with Allah, which is what? Which is your salah. Your salah. What is our salah? Salah is a way of getting Allah's help. Straight up. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu ista'inu bis-sabri wa salah. O you who believe, seek help from me through two things. Salah and sabr. Sabr, have patience, and salah, pray. Now how does sabr and salah make you seek help from Allah? Because you need both of these to carry on in life. Salah gives you the satisfaction inside that you've got the strongest support out there. That's what salah is. The creator, the maker, the planner, the one, the guide, the one who has everything in his hands. He's going to be my closest one. When I make him my closest one, then he's going to plan for me. He's going to create things for me. He's going to pave the way for me. He's going to be there for me. But you've got to make that relationship. What does that mean? That means you stay away from sin. And you get into the worship of Allah. Once you make the connection with Allah Azza wa Jal, then you put sabr. Why do you need sabr? Well, you need sabr because sometimes Allah's not going to just give it to you on a plate. It doesn't mean that you just came to Allah, Allah has to give it to you straight away. No, Allah wants to test you. Why did you come to me? You came to me for the thing? Okay, you came to me for this, right? I've got this here. So now you're right in front of me. Now you want this thing, right? You want this thing. I'm not giving it to you. Now if I give it to you, what happens? If I give it to you straight away, what happens? First is you don't value it. And second thing is you walk away with it, finished. I don't see you again. If I don't give it to you, the longer I don't give it to you, the longer it takes for you to get this off me, the better you value this. You guys follow me, yes or no? Yes? Allah Azza wa Jal does that. He's not going to give it to you straight away. He's sometimes going to answer your du'as after 1 year, sometimes after a few months, sometimes after 3 years, sometimes after 5 years, sometimes after 10 years. But when you get that thing, you know that you really appreciate it a lot more. And when you appreciate it, you'll want to save it and you want to value every single piece that you've got of it. But if Allah gives it to you straight away, what happens? You don't value it. You lose it straight away. You won't even value the relationship you had with Allah. Allah can cure you straight away, but He doesn't always do it. Why? Because He wants to see how you keep on calling Him. He wants to bring you close to Him. He knows this moment He gives it to you, you're going to go away. So therefore, tawakkul, salah comes with sabr, which is my patience. Salah, I'm going to pray to build my relationship with Allah. Sabr, I'm going to have for those moments, for the many moments where I need things from Allah, I'm not getting it. See, a lot of people become impatient on this earth, and they can have anger. They can have anger problems. They can feel down within themselves because they never got what they wanted. And it's a huge problem. Allah Azza wa Jal said, وَلَوْ بَسَطَ اللَّهُ الرِّزْقَ لِعِبَادِهِ لَبَغَوْا فِي الْأَرْضِ. Allah says, if I was to answer everyone's request and then expand the amount of wealth and amount of things I give for humans, there would be a lot of corruption on the earth. A lot of corruption. Why? Because a lot of people are sitting there wanting things from Allah, but once they get it, deep inside them they're a different person. Deep inside them, they've still got the monster inside them. They haven't really looked after it. They haven't really tamed it. And they will cause problems for people. So Allah Azza wa Jal, He gives it to whom He wants, how much He wants, when He wants. And it doesn't mean because He gave you something, He loves you. What we understand is faith means, how do I know that Allah loves me? How do I, look, if you're claiming, you know that you love Allah, okay, fine. You can claim that, I can claim that. But how do I know that Allah loves me? There's only one ayah in the Quran that tells you a guaranteed thing that you know Allah loves you back, which is following and adopting the sunnah and the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. قُلْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ فَاتَّبِعُونِي يُحْبِبْكُمُ اللَّهُ وَيَغْفِرْ لَكُمْ ذُنُوبَكُمْ. If you want a guaranteed love of Allah, Allah says, I will announce my love for you if you follow my Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So whatever he did, however he was, to follow him, to be like him, in every single aspect you can, then that means that you are a person whom Allah loves. There's no other way. You can say, well, I give this much sadaqah. You can say, well, I'm kind to people. It doesn't mean Allah loves you. You can say, well, I'm a really nice person. That doesn't mean Allah loves you. There's only one thing that guarantees the love of Allah, which is to try and follow Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And don't just take this as just following him in just his clothing and just a miswak. That's not that. If you want to follow Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you got to follow him in his manners. You got to follow him in his salah, following him in his devotion, follow him in his ways, in his conduct, follow him in the way that he treated his wives, he treated his family members, he treated his children, his grandchildren. He had his own children. He did treat them very well. Many of them passed away. Only Fatima radiallahu anha, she grew up to live. But what I'm trying to say is that the children in his time, the women in his time, the men in his time, the friends in his time, however he treated all of them, and then follow him in his ibadah, in his worship, in his closeness to Allah. That is where you find the love of Allah Azza wa Jalla is guaranteed. Now, in this whole world where we are right now, if we want to change things, we've got to adopt all these things, guys. And we've got to find all of these things. And this doesn't come because you simply come to a talk like this. You can't just come to a talk like this, get everything and go. What I've just done, I've just given you some bullet points. If you seriously want to make a change, you have to yourself find people with good companionship, have a good companionship with people. Find people who've got the sabr. You hang around with them, you're going to increase your sabr. You find people with wisdom. You hang around with them, you're going to increase wisdom. Find people who are resilient. You hang around with them, you'll become stronger. Find people real time. I'm not talking about online. Find real people in this society, in this community. The people who are, who are those people that you look up to as role models. You spend time with them, you're going to build that inside you. That's number one. Number two is you refer to the books of Islam. Start with the Quran. Open the Quran and read the message of the Quran and its meaning. And take a lesson from the meaning that you just read. Open a book of hadith. You read a hadith. If you don't understand it, you've got imams here. Come to the imam and ask him, what is the meaning of this? Quran and ahadith. Open it yourself, read. Another one you can do is, instead of going online with all these other, pranks and this and whatever you're wasting your time in, go to some real courses. If you can't find courses in Aberdeen, you've got courses in Dundee, you've got courses, in other places. If you can't travel that far, then now find them online. But find a good scholar who's done a whole series of things and be in his companionship. Be in the companionship of someone good online. If you can't find someone local, then you find someone global. But you find someone that is in a good thing and you start listening to them and you start changing your life according to them. Don't just use them as a thing just to listen to them and quote his bayan to others and say, see what he said about you, see what he said about you. You don't want to do that. You want to use him about yourself and change yourself. And that's how we navigate through this world. With all the challenges you've got, whatever challenges you've got, if you want to make sure that you go through all these challenges and you have your head high and you're able to get to your akhirah and you're not at a loss, then this is what you do. May Allah Azza wa Jal give me tawfiq. Allah Azza wa Jal give everyone tawfiq. Ya Amin Ya Rabbil Alameen. Any questions I'll take from you, otherwise we're going to be ending this, inshallah. Any questions? What you can put in your daily routine, the question is to build taqwa. Taqwa is something that takes a long time to build. And there are many, many different ayats in the Quran that talk about taqwa. Taqwa is built is simply by salah as well. By doing your salah, if you concentrate in salah, you want to make the devotion in salah, the mindfulness you had with Allah, come outside of salah. So the way you stood in front of Allah and you said, oh my God, Allah is watching me and I can't sin right now. You want to have the same awareness when you're in the marketplace. The same awareness when you're driving. The same awareness when you're out there on the streets. You got that? So it's like the mind gets trained slowly to think, wherever I am, Allah is watching me. Allah is watching me. When we fast, that's what we're doing. Allah said, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. You're building your taqwa through fasting. How? The whole fasting day goes by me thinking, I can't eat, I can't drink because Allah is watching me. I can't sin, I can't break these rules because Allah is watching me. Allah is saying that's building your taqwa. Hajj, when we go to Allah says, فَاتَّقُونِ يَا أُولِي الْأَلْبَابِ وَخَيْرُ زَادِ التَّقْوَى. Allah said the best goods you're going to take in your luggage to Hajj is going to be taqwa. What does that mean? That means you're in Hajj. Who wants to sin in front of the Kaaba? Who's going to be in front of the Kaaba, in front of, the holy shrines in Makkah, Medina and sin? We don't do that there. Why? Because you're thinking of Allah and His Messenger a lot more there. So Allah is saying, take that and now bring the same thing in your head when you're out there. You got to build this slowly. When you do dhikr, when you remember Allah Azza wa Jal, then you are building your taqwa. Why? Because you're repeating those words, repeating. La ilaha illallah, you're repeating Alhamdulillah, you're repeating Allahu Akbar, you're repeating that. If your mind is connecting, then it's like Allahu Akbar also when I'm failing. I'm failing in my exam or something. Allahu Akbar. Allah is the greatest. Allah is greater than my exam. Allah is greater than my mind. Allah is greater than me. So now you've got taqwa. Taqwa, do I want to cheat somewhere? No. Allahu Akbar. Allah is watching me. So here's where taqwa comes. Because you did the dhikr, you thought about what you said, you read a Quranic verse, you contemplate on its meaning, and now you're moving it into different parts of your life. And you're making your mind think of that. That's what taqwa is. And the more you can build that, the more you will become a muttaqi and a person of taqwa. Any other questions? Any other questions, guys? Okay, Jazakumullah khair. Thank you very much. May Allah Azza wa Jalla bless every single person in this community and every person that attended this. Amin ya Rabbil Alameen. Wa akhiru da'wana an alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.